As the last rays of the sun retreated from the sky, the shadow of an old house on the outskirts of a small town began to lengthen. The owner of the house was a young and quiet woman named Elara. Elara was always alone. His heart was filled with silent screams and forgotten memories. There was always a sense of incompleteness in Elara's eyes as she watched the shadows dancing outside. The loneliness that echoes in his life has left deep traces in his inner world. However, this silence in Elara's life was a harbinger of a supernatural transformation. One night, while Elara was sitting alone in her house, she noticed a faint light appearing in the corner of her room. A translucent being emerged from the light and slowly approached Elara. The entity spoke to her like a melancholy melody. "You are alone, Elara." This supernatural being was linked to Elara's inner loneliness, forgotten memories of the past, and the screams inside her appear before Elara. Elara made a deal with the supernatural being. Together they decided to show Elara's loneliness to the outside world. Elara wandered the streets of the town, reevaluating every moment of her life. The traces of his loneliness seemed to permeate every corner of the city. At midnight, the supernatural entity infiltrated the town residents' dreams, and shadows appeared around Elara. The townspeople were affected by forgotten memories and the melancholy of loneliness. Elara's past was beginning to upset the balance of the town. The loneliness within everyone had turned into a common pain. However, this supernatural change also brought tension. The town became uneasy because of the shadows seen in the dreams. Elara was integrating with the spirit of the town as well as the loneliness in her subconscious. Shadows began a mysterious dance on the streets of the town. When Elara's inner world merges with the spirit of the town, a supernatural energy emerges. The town trembled in the atmosphere of loneliness. The night was full of supernatural touches. One day, the townspeople realized that Elara's loneliness affects them too. The townspeople had to face the pain of the past. However, this tense process threatened the peace of the town. In the end, Elara had to make a decision and chose to weaken her bond with the supernatural being. Although this decision reduced the tension in the town, the traces of loneliness never completely disappeared. When Elara went out of town, she was walking under the stars. The supernatural being was not accompanying them, but its traces were everywhere. Elara continued to trace her loneliness, but now she found the courage to share this trace with others. Thus, the loneliness in Elara's life left its mark inside and outside the town. While the town gradually finds peace with a gentle breeze, Elara's loneliness leaves footprints in the forest, heralding a new beginning rather than ending like the end of a story. With Elara's departure, the town's peace returned. However, traces of loneliness were still alive in Elara's inner world. One night the stars were shining brightly, but there was a darkness in Elara's eyes that could not fill the emptiness inside her. The supernatural being returned to Elara. "The trace of loneliness is on you, Elara," he said. "I will be with you as long as you carry it." Elara was used to living like a stranger, carrying the traces of the past, and the supernatural being continued to be with her. One night the stars were dim and the city streets were quiet. Elara decided to stop carrying the mark of loneliness. Even though the supernatural being tried to dissuade her, Elara's heart was now pulled in another direction. When Elara left the mark of loneliness, her soul surrounded her like a curtain of fog. The supernatural being could not bear the release of this trace and slowly began to disappear. The loneliness within Elara absorbed and destroyed the supernatural being. For a while, the town regained its lost peace. But Elara's story would be remembered as the story of a soul lost under the stars. Elara, united with the supernatural being born from her loneliness, has finally found peace.